I think this should do our year's worth. Just based on what we normally buy, this should do at least a year's worth or more.
Hey everybody, John here at Heirloom Permaculture. Jess at Roots and Refuge said I should share with you all our growing onions from seeds. So we're going to do that real quick. We're a little ways into the process because we didn't film anything when we were starting the seeds, and they've been growing for a little while. But today we're going to give them a haircut and up pot them to some larger pots and kind of show you that progress. And we'll come back and check on these when we put them out in the ground and let you see how it all works out. All right, so we've got all the onions started in a flat. It's a kind of a cluster planting. We just broadcast the seeds across all of it. Now we need to break that up into smaller groups that we'll put in pots that have more room for root growth. So in these flats, there's only a couple inches deep. We need to give them 3 to 4 inches deep so that they'll develop a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to kind of create plugs out of this. And we're not worried about separating the individual onions yet. We're just creating a cluster of them to go into a container with more root room. So that's all we're doing today. So let's do that. All right, so really all we're doing is we're moving these onions to these pots. And we're going to do it. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. Let's go ahead and trim them down. It doesn't hurt them to cut the tops off. Some people believe it actually even causes them to grow stronger on the roots, and we're just going to take them down anywhere from 2 to 3 inches tall. These grass shears, we'll do that right there. We'll miss some along the way, but we'll come back and get any that we're not getting right now. You can already smell them. So we'll be sacrificing some as we do this. There's really no way to avoid it. Just like cutting up a pan of brownies.
Now I want brownies.
These aren't near sweet though.
No.
Not yet. Probably should let them dry out a little bit more. Alright, so we'll just lift out a plug of them. In there. They're going to look kind of beat. Not beets, but beat. They've been a little handled here, but they should be alright. Like I said, we're going to lose some. Alright, it's ugly and it's barbaric, but bear with us. We're just a few hours from the start of summer, and we're thinking about fall garden. Ooh, we haven't been thinking about it at all, so we haven't done any planning for it as far as what's going in some of these beds. We do have some issues to take care of. You can see on the turnips that we seeded that we had pretty incomplete germination, and we've kind of narrowed that down to a moisture issue. Soon after we put the row cover, it's the lightest we had. It's a point, I think it's a 0.55 weight, which is a little thicker than we really want to use for that, but it's the lightest we had, and everybody sold out of anything more than 10 feet long. We'd like to do the insect netting, and we may end up having to do that, but we don't have any right now. So moisture wasn't getting to the seed bed near well enough. Even with the watering, the irrigation, we didn't realize it till after the fact that it wasn't getting it good. So we missed the window on the germination on a good chunk of the bed. You see we had some, but not all of it. So I went back through this morning and hand seeded all of the voids. In all honesty, it's probably kind of a good thing, because we're terrible about planting a really big area all at once rather than doing succession planting, and having all those come on at once isn't the way we eat them, and they don't store as well, and they're not as good when they sit. So having this bed tied up and being able to come through and harvest daily and just get what we need, it's probably going to be better in the long run. But we didn't expect it till we pulled the cover back and realized that it wasn't getting good moisture. And it also looks like the sweet corn in the ground cover fabric there was a failure. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that germinated. So the seed wasn't old, so I'm not sure what happened there. I think we did everything we could right, but it just didn't take. So today we're spending the majority of our time actually harvesting a big part of the onions. We're not pulling all of them yet. They're not all needing to come out, but the ones that are tops have laid down and they're starting to get a little papery, the necks are starting to dry up, we're going ahead and pulling those. As far as the size, we've had a lot better success than we've had in the past, but we're also having to pull a lot of onions smaller than we really wanted, but that, you know, they're not terrible. So overall, I'd call this a success. Again, these are from seed. These are the Texas Early Grano. They're a yellow sweet onion, and we bought 8,000 seeds for like 10 bucks. I think something like that, 10, 12, I don't even remember how much they were. It wasn't much.
No, it wasn't very much.
So I think this is 400 onions right here, give or take. And so that's 1/20th. So we've got 400 onions for about 50 cents, less than $1 anyways.
Yeah.
Because we did lose some when we were through the growth stage, and we gave some away, things like that. So I'd say easily $1 invested for these 400 onions. How about we do this? Down there where the weed fabric is, it's 15 feet of bed.
Yeah.
And the corn's not doing well.
Some of it, yeah.
So I want to pull that up and plant something else. But why don't you all tell us in the comments, what do you want us to grow in that 15 feet? And we can give it about a week or so worth of comments, and make sure we have, you know, what to plant, what can go in there. If we need to do it in transplants, we start something somewhere else and transplant it. That little bit of bed can sit empty for a while. But whatever gets kind of the most votes, try to make it as season appropriate as possible. I mean, we're willing to experiment and try something. It's only 15 feet. We're not going to lose a lot of bed space doing that. But remember, our goal for this year is to grow as much of our food as possible.
Right.
We're willing to experiment and see what we can do. But again, priority is growing the food. So y'all put in the comments what you want to see us try to grow there.
Yeah, I like
and
that
if
idea.
we've got the seed, we'll do it. If not, we'll see if we can get our hands on it in a timely manner to where we can do that.
Yep.
But yeah, so comment below. About 15 feet of a 30-inch wide bed.
For a family of 5, what can
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If it's something that needs trellising, we could probably pull that off. Only problem with that is it's a middle bed, so it's going to block the sprinklers just a little bit. So try to keep it a little shorter, but let's see what you can come up with. Well, as she finishes pulling the onions, I need to make somewhere to cure them. So I need to get all this stuff off of this shelf and add 2 more shelves onto it and find something to put all this stuff on. Now this comfrey and blackberries need water bad. Kind of a little garden tip here. This is why we don't grow in containers this time of year when we're really busy in the gardens, because things like this, they get set aside somewhere and we forget about them and we forget to water them. And we can save all these at this point. You know, we haven't had rain, and so, well, we had a little sprinkle yesterday, but we haven't really had good rain in going on 2 weeks. And if you forget to water this stuff, it ain't gonna survive in a container unless you water it. And it's out of sight, out of mind over here where we're not at every day and we forget about it. We need to either move this to where we walk past it every day, or just not have things in containers right now in areas that we're not working daily. So try to save this stuff. This was almost ready to go to new homes. Been knocked back by not having water. It'll still survive, get right back to where it was, but it's always discouraging to lose time like this, because we forgot to water them.
Got it even. Putting these shelves back together so we can have a place to dry out the onions. We're gonna stay on the back porch where they'll stay dry out of the rain. And need several shelves so we have plenty of room to spread them all out. We're also using these shelves because they're open so the air can flow through them and dry them out, get that good skin that you want on there to be able to make the onions last a little longer. Now just to get it in the porch. Wonder if I should have put it together on the porch. Might have been a little easier.
For anybody that noticed the obvious and wondering why don't we put this comfrey and blackberry in there where there's shelves and everything, we could. It's got the shade cloth, but it still gets very hot in there. And you know, we'd have to open this door to let any air flow through this time of year for sure. But as much high wind and storms as we get, mainly just high wind, it'll rip that door right off. So if we can do that, and we might still, but I'm probably gonna have to take that door off and open this up good.
For summer.
Yeah, for summer. So it's consideration. It's just not, it's not a priority today.
It's 110 in there.
Yeah, with shade cloth, with the bottom open, with the window open, door closed, but getting airflow still runs about 110 on a 90-degree day.
Yeah.
So very hot.
Somehow I always end up going backwards.
Because I got the camera.
Oh, that way. What about when you don't have a camera? Said I was right, we should grow from seed. Oh, it seems like so much more in here than it does when I'm laying down out there.
There's 145 onions left in the bed, which, quick math, that means we pulled
250.
255.
Whatever. Pretty close. You said quick math, so like rounding.
So we pulled about 2/3,
Yeah.
almost, and the wheelbarrow isn't totally full, but it's
pretty dang close.
pretty dang close. now we got to go see if the shelves we set up are enough space to cure all of these.
Yep.
So that's the next challenge.
So how are we going to grow onions from now on?
In the ground,
But how are we going to start onions from now on?
in the greenhouse.
From seed.
Yeah, we're gonna grow.
Because I was right.
I don't remember saying that we couldn't grow them from seed, but she thinks that this is 100% on her, so I'm gonna let her have it.
We had a discussion over seed or sets, and
Or plants.
I kind of insisted on seed.
So, all right.
So you get everything else. Like I can take the onion.
Oh, I
credit,
wouldn't try to take credit for anything. So, all right, let's get these curing, and that's all that's left to harvest whenever they're ready. I think we're gonna have enough for a year.
Yes, we are.
So, probably could have bought fewer seeds, but it was too good a deal to not buy what we bought.
Now we can just use more.
And we can use more. Hopefully seeds store for a while.
I hope this is enough room. We got a bunch of onions.